No, 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 no. No. Don't even give him the mic. Don't even give him the mic.
Welcome to S.C.R.E.E.N, the first and only place to come to for movie reviews, live at the cinema. But today we got a big one. We're not here at the cinema. We are here at the red carpet. We're going to see all the stars. Tim the Tall Man, Taylor, all my old school guys. Yes, Tom Hanks. We're going to be showing Wilson. It's exciting. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited. I actually can't wait. This is my most anticipated film of the year.
We are here at the Toy Story 4 European premiere.
Pull up in the gold, I'm leading. All them other man need feeding. I don't wanna go Bombay. Them I don't know what I do when I go from Beeling. Leading the pack in black and I'm on with a bag. Snapping with a phone and die. Boss up a man with a duster. Put him in a drip and sip blockbuster. Win, that's the only ammo. Ring, I reply with N.O. Call me Leno, had it hard. Switch up the ting as I hit bellow. Switch up the ting as I drink mellow. Switch up the ting in my black and yellow, so fresh.
Alright, so we're about to go in. We're about to step onto the red carpet.
Call up the server to clean up the bubble.
So that was us at the European premiere of Toy Story 4. But from the red carpet to no carpet at all, we're now live at the cinema as always for our review of Toy Story 4. First impressions, Ben, I'm going to come to you first. What did you think?
I'm a huge Toy Story fan. I remember when I was 1 month old watching Toy Story 1. Yeah, I was 1 month old. I remember I was like, But I know. Coming into Toy Story 4, naturally I was optimistic. For anyone to make this film, that's a big job to do. And when I found out it's a director's debut, then I was more like, whoa, that's a tough job. But straight off the bat, I'm surprised.
Surprised in a good way or bad way?
Good way. That was amazing.
So from Ben who thought it was amazing, I know Daryl didn't necessarily feel the same way. How did you feel about Toy Story? What's your first impressions of the film?
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like this needed to be made. I think when they ended it on 3, I thought, you know what, 3 had a great ending, it was perfect, you know? And then obviously they thought, oh, you know what, how do we squeeze another film in? How do we get another film in so these Disney guys can give some more money? How do we do that? And yes, it could be a good or decent story, but does it need to be made? But then, towards the end of the film, you realize, oh, so it took an hour and a bit to really understand why this film was made, to give Woody a send-off. But do you need it? I don't think so. I think 3 was perfect. They should have just left it how it was.
Okay, Daryl, Ed, what about you?
Look, there's some points that Daryl made that I can slightly agree. Yeah, this is my first impressions and also my answers. So there's some points, like maybe 3% of it, I can agree with a little bit. But the thing is, right, Pixar, obviously Daryl doesn't know, he's like a casual Pixar fan, he doesn't really know about Pixar films and stuff, but when Pixar make films, and this is a direct quote from them, they make every film as if it's their first and last of the franchise. They don't have sequels in mind. You can say all you like, cash grab, or how can we squeeze in another one? If you were an actual fan, you watch the films, you can actually see they don't make cash grabs, maybe apart from cost. But other than that, they only make a sequel if they feel like they've got a story that's worth telling. Arguably, yeah, so your point was the Toy Story trilogy was like the perfect trilogy. Well, for me it was the perfect trilogy. You said it was a good trilogy. And
No. I said that number 3 was a good ending to the trilogy.
So was Toy Story not a good trilogy?
I'm actually about to ask you. Wow, okay, so now, listen. Everyone, now you know. Don't take his words seriously. He just said Toy Story is not a good trilogy. Don't listen to... Okay, he didn't say it's not. He did this. Okay.
Number 3 was a good send-off. That's all I said.
Alright, first impressions. I went into the film, I was in 2 minds. On the one hand, it didn't need the sequel. Why are they doing this? On the other hand, I have faith in them and I thought they wouldn't do this for no reason. If they were going to do a cash grab, which they wouldn't, it wasn't going to be for Toy Story, was it? They're not going to risk Toy Story franchise for a cash grab. I had no idea what this story was about. I hadn't watched any trailers, didn't know any characters. So I was pleasantly surprised throughout the whole thing. And I was wowed once again. They've never let me down.
James.
Came into this thinking, was it necessary? Came out thinking, no, not really. It was a good film. It was a very good film. I enjoyed it. I laughed. I had a good time, as Toy Story films usually do. But it wasn't needed to be made. It really wasn't. Like Daryl said, it literally was the ending which was the reason why it was made. Like the whole film, it was just you're sitting there to enjoy it, but then what was its purpose?
Myself, finally, my first impressions, what I would say, Toy Story 4 is probably my least favorite Toy Story of the franchise, but that's not a slight because all the Toy Story films so far have been stellar. So the fact that this might be the least is not necessarily a bad thing. That being said, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So that's my first impressions. So now that we've laid our foundation of impressions, let's now get into what we enjoyed about the film. James, I'm going to come to you first. What did you enjoy?
So I liked how they introduced Bo Sheep again.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I like how they introduced Bo Peep again because we actually got to find out why she disappeared. Because I was very curious about that on Toy Story 3, and then you got to see her again and like how she's like now an outside toy. She doesn't really have like anyone to be with. The character development as well on some of the things like the doll in the store. Yeah, the Gabby doll. I wouldn't really call her like the villain because they did try to make her a little bit of a villain, but then she wasn't really. She was just someone that was like she was a defective toy and she never really had someone. She was a bit aggressive with how she did things, but she wasn't really a bad person. She was just someone that just felt alone. She didn't have anyone with her. It's quite complex characters in the story, and it's something that maybe even kids can understand to an extent. They don't try to make it like, oh, there's like this really evil person anymore. I think that they've tried to evolve Toy Story a little bit with the times. It's not just like there's no just black and white anymore. There's a lot of grey areas in the world, and I think they did a very good job of expressing that.
You know, I'm quite surprised that James didn't mention this. I think this is the number one thing, and I hope we can all agree with here. That animation is probably the best animation I probably will and have ever seen in an animated film in my life.
What, better than Alita?
Yeah, but animated movie, that's got live action in it, so you can't really call it. The film as a whole, like that opening scene with the rain. That was like photorealistic. Like that was insane. Another thing I will say is how they introduce new characters, and I think I enjoyed nearly every new character. Duke Kaboom, I think he stole the show. Like over Woody, over everything. Mate, he like Keanu Reeves, he can do no wrong. Like Keanu Reeves is just that guy. You're breathtaking. Like
is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
The new characters I love more, from Duke Kaboom to Key and Peele's characters. I actually do believe, I feel like they was given a script for them to say, all right, here's the script, here's what's happening, do what you want, like throw whatever you want in there. And I feel that's how they've done it, because that was very Key and Peele. Like it felt like I was watching a Key and Peele sketch in an animated film.
Daryl, what about you?
I think the characters, like you said, were quite compelling. I think especially the villain. Well, we call her the villain, but I mean like she had purpose. You know, it made sense. Yeah, she had this passive-aggressive way of dealing with people. Even when the bit where I think Woody's inside the chariot thing, the buggy, and it's like, yeah, you're not going nowhere. And it's like, what? Like it was very like I mean, even when he ran off, when he ran off, like, no, get them please. Like very passive-aggressive, And I enjoyed her character. I think she was really good, and I think Bo Peep was obviously a steal of the show, in my opinion. I think her character, go women, yeah. She was a very strong character. Even when she led, she said, Woody, don't lead. I'm leading this whole thing. You're not the sheriff. I'm the guy, right? So I was like, raw. That's it.
Ed, what else did you enjoy? Okay,
For those who don't know, the Toy Story trilogy 1 to 3 is my number one of all-time trilogy ever, right? Ever. Yeah. Of all time, there's no trilogy above Toy Story for me. So now that they've made number 4, I can't say that anymore. I can't say, oh, it's the best trilogy.
What are you gonna call it then?
Quadrilogy?
No, you just call it the Woody Saga. This is basically the Woody Saga.
Okay, well here's the thing, right? Woody, look.
What was that Woody song?
When I was growing up, as with all kids, so I was 4 years old when I first saw Toy Story, and as with all kids, we all was like Buzz Lightyear, and because it's like superficial. Yeah, superficial. I said kids. I know you're like 20 years older than me and stuff. But anyway, when we was watching it, we was all like, yeah, Buzz Lightyear. And as you get older, you start to realise, hang on a second, Woody is the character. He's the Don. He's the loyal guy. He is the most loyal person you could ever know. And I think this film, I think towards the beginning when I was just watching Woody go, I was just like, this is my guy, man. This is my guy. And I think throughout the film, just seeing Woody interact with everyone, this is my number one highlight, just because this was Woody's film. But yeah, other than Woody, yeah, I just love the film. I loved the fact that it didn't ever feel like they were throwing in filler. Everyone expected there to just be filler and like, well, what is this? They're doing this for the sake of it. And I just think never ever did I feel like that. I just thought it was a solid film, start to finish, story-wise, animation-wise, music-wise. Now, I don't know if you lot know about Randy Newman. Randy Newman, yeah, done the music for all the Toy Stories, 1, 2, and 3. So they got him back to do number 4. Not just the songs, but he done the themes as well. Brilliant soundtrack, brilliant themes, brilliant music. But yeah, man, just all round a solid film.
Me personally, something I really enjoyed, as he spoke about Keanu Reeves, I enjoyed like some of the little Easter eggs and references that you saw in this movie. Speaking of Keanu Reeves, like in the end credit when he was like, "Can you guys really shoot laser beams from your eyes?" And they were like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Whoa, that's from the Matrix."
Duke Kaboom, for those who don't know, quick bit of Easter egg cameo. That's not the first time we've seen him, by the way. He was actually in Incredibles 2. He was in Jack's crib as a toy. Like, it is, that's a little Easter egg.
So I need to look back at that.
That's a good segue actually, because speaking of Pixar properties, now we go into Monsters Inc. and we saw, little Boo in there as well. Did you guys see her?
In the nursery.
In the nursery with Bonnie, you saw her. And then you saw her in the little Coney Island place when she's shooting the ball. I thought that was really a nice little touch. What else did you enjoy, Ben?
Another thing I liked was, the new characters, but also the voice actors. I feel like Bo Peep, great job. Keanu Reeves, Gabby, she was good. So I feel like everyone done a great job, but them three in particular, they done great jobs on the voice acting. And also, I liked how they had like a horror kind of tone to this as well. Like they had kind of dark tones.
I wonder how the kids took that.
All those Jimmy Cars running around.
Oh, mate, that when you said that in the cinema, I was like, look it up. They look like Jimmy Carr. They're whatever they are. I don't even know what they are. Like ventriloquist dolls. Yeah. And then I was sitting, I was thinking, this Gabby is like baby Annabelle. This is like baby Annabelle's offspring. Like flipping, she just come out Annabelle's plastic ass. Like.
And I thought that another new character that we had was Forky for this film. And I thought looking at the trailers, I thought he would be annoying. But I kind of warmed to him. I kind of grew on me. So there wasn't really like a weak character, new character, I would say, in the film. Okay, we're gonna get straight into what we disliked about the film, if we can find any. I'm sure you can. So speaking of which, Daryl, what's this maneuver that you're doing right now?
No. Let's just. Getting ready. I think what I didn't like, the pace of the movie. The pacing is just so slow, right? I'm really not understanding why this exists. That's what I'm saying. Until I see the connection with Bo Peep and Woody. In my opinion, that's when the movie kind of really got to the point. Because obviously this Sporky thing was ridiculous, in my opinion. It was just stupid. Whatever, yeah. I want to go in the trash. And that was funny for a while, and then it kind of got a bit lame. He got a bit
for like 5 minutes.
No, he kept doing it. I was still thinking, why does this film exist, right? And then obviously, as he reaches Bo Peep, and I'm like, oh, this movie's for them, and it's meant to be a send-off for Woody, right? Rather than end it as 3, because like I said in my first reaction, I think 3 was fine, and I feel like it takes away from 3 a little bit, in my opinion, because the way how 3 ended, even when they're holding hands going into the flipping, garbage dispenser thing that's, it's gonna burn them all. Man, I was like, oh my days, this is gonna happen, right? This is suspense, right? Yeah. And then I'm watching this film, I'm like, where's that? But I will say this though, I still liked the movie, just so you know.
But Ed, what did you dislike?
Yeah, I mean, look, what I didn't like about the film, I understand why they made this film. I don't think they should have called it Toy Story 4, because this wasn't part of that trilogy. Very, very clearly, this is something separate. This should have been something like a Woody story, Woody and Bo, something like this is a whole different thing. It doesn't take away from the film itself, but I just don't really agree with it being called Toy Story 4.
And I'll tell you why it's called Toy Story 4. They called it Toy Story 4 because it's a cash grab. No. If they called it Toy Story Woody's Adventures,
it would still make money.
It would be okay.
But there's no point to doing that.
It would be okay.
There's no point. It's still a story about toys.
And again, when I go to watch a Toy Story film, and this again comes into the title, I expect to see a Toy Story and I see all the characters I've grown to love. I didn't get to see all of them. I didn't get to see all these guys a lot. Like it was centered on, one certain plot. And I think That would be my only other thing.
That's what I was gonna say myself, but I'd like to see a bit more Buzz, a bit more of the other characters,
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head, Slinky, all of them other guys. We got to see it in the beginning. Obviously, as you said, this is Woody's story, this is Woody's send-off, this is the climax to his story, but unfortunately, as a side effect of that, we didn't get to see much of the other characters.
And R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head. They got loads of sound bites from all of the previous films and deleted scenes and stuff to make up his thing.
Or the voice actor.
The voice actor, yeah, because unfortunately, yeah, he passed away. But R.I.P. Potato Head.
So I only had one thing, but then while you were talking about the toys, I still don't understand how Spork can become a toy, and on top of that they made another toy at the end of the film, which is a knife, becomes a toy because you put eyes and lips on it. But cool, fine.
But if you ask that question, then you have to ask why the original toys are alive anyway. Why are the original toys alive?
Yeah, but they could, you know what? I can suspend belief for that because all toys exist and they are alive. That's just how they are. And then the thing is, utensils don't talk. Nothing else talks. No TV.
Do toys talk?
Oh, okay. So the minute you just put a mouth on everything, eyes, it's all cool. Like it automatically becomes.
Let me ask you something. If I get a plastic shape, just an oval, like an oval shape, right? I stick an eye on it, stick a nose, stick a mouth. Should that be alive? That's Mr. Potato Head. That's Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head put his eyes on a flipping, a pancake?
He put on a tortilla.
On a tortilla. He put his eyes, his nose, his mouth on a tortilla and walked around as a tortilla in Toy Story 3. Oh, he was already alive. Oh, sorry, you know the rules. This is what I'm saying. Bonnie got whatever it was, a body, stuck eyes on it, nose, a mouth. How is that any different to any toy in existence where all they do is get a piece of plastic, shape it, draw, they don't even stick things on it. Sometimes they just draw eyes and mouth. How do you explain that? It's just toys. And when you have a toy in this universe, they come to life.
Okay, just to wrap it up, Ben.
It's like Ed. I've got hardly anything I disliked about this film, but it's kind of where I have to echo you guys' points where the characters we grew up loving, the Buzzes, the Slinkies, they just felt like they were sidelined in this film. So I feel like they could have had more involvement in the plot. What Ed said as well, where it should have been Toy Story Woody's movie, it's kind of like Star Wars. You got your canon, and then you got a Star Wars story, then you got like the solos, Rogue One. It's kind of like that, where it's like Rogue One and Solo instead of Star Wars Episode 1, Star Wars Episode 2. So this may be an unpopular opinion, but the villain in Toy Story 2 we had Stinky Pete, in Toy Story 3 we had Lotso, and they were savages. Like they were outright. Lotso sent them to their death and was like, "Where's your kid now?" Didn't even press the button, and you was like, "Oh my god,
that was savage."
Saved him as well.
The villain I wasn't too keen on, and the sporting characters we've loved weren't involved as I would have liked to.
Okay, after our dislikes, as always, we get into our scores. James, I'm gonna come to you first.
So I'm gonna give this film a 7.5. Like I said, I actually really enjoyed this. I thought it was a good film, but was not needed.
Okay, Ben.
Toy Story 4 was a beautiful masterpiece. That's what I'm gonna call this, a beautiful masterpiece. I loved all the new characters they introduced. I loved the voice acting, the animation. Everything was on point. The only gripe I did have, which was a little one, was the villain and not enough of our characters we liked. On records, I won't be surprised if this is my #1 film of the year. Like, I will not be surprised if this is the best film I watched this year.
And with Endgame in this year as well.
Yeah, even with Endgame, when we got Endgame and we got Star Wars, we seen the Star Wars trailer reaction. You know I'm looking forward to that. So to say this from now, this is a big call. So I'm going to give this a 9.5.
That's a fair score.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Daryl, you're shaking your head. Tell us why. What's your score out of 10?
You know what? I'm actually speechless, but I'm saying
You're speechless, but you continue to talk.
I continue to talk, exactly. Because I'm sitting there thinking, what have we seen this year? Yeah, I think for me, kind of echoing what you said, I don't think this was needed, but at the same time, I did enjoy myself. So yeah, all in all, I'll give this film a 7.
A 7 out of 10?
Yeah.
Ed, I'm gonna come to you next.
Look, I'm not going to do that thing. I'm not going to do that thing where I talk about how much I love the film and then I'd give it a low score. Like, I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm going to be straight up. On the one hand, they did it. Did they need to do it because of Toy Story 3, how it ended? And then on the other hand, I thought, they've never let me down before, and they still haven't. Well done, Pixar. Well done. You completed my childhood yet again.
Continuing your childhood.
They could know. Yes, my childhood wasn't completed until I saw this film. Now, finally, my childhood is complete, and I can move on, just like Woody. Score-wise, I'm going to give this film a... Before I give my film, I'll give context. Toy Story 1 was a 10. Toy Story 2 was a 9.5. Toy Story 3 was a 10. Toy Story 4 was a 9 for me.
9.
As I said at the very beginning, this is probably my least favorite Toy Story, but despite that, I thoroughly enjoyed it, for it was a good film, and I thought it was a worthy iteration, or worthy addition, rather, to the franchise. That being said, my score is an 8. Is it that shocking? Jesus Christ, man. So that has been our review of Toy Story 4. As always, tell us what you thought about it. Was it a worthy addition to the franchise, or was it a waste of time? Let us know. That being said, our average between us 5 agents is an 8.2 out of 10. As always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N. Until the next video from all the agents, peace. To infinity and beyond, bitch.